心欢迎到爱乐国际贸易有限公司的创办人邱爱乐 Alex 来我们荣誉专访，欢迎 Alex。
Hi.
Hi. Alex, first of all, I want to ask you why you start the business of coffee and 爱乐国际贸易有限公司 and what is your motivation?
Sure. My motivation comes from I got married 10 years ago with a beautiful Taiwanese girl from Kaohsiung, and I find myself in a position suddenly that I wanted my wife to come back to her country and live with her parents, and if that would be the case, what would I do and where would I work? So I found out because I did not speak Chinese and I couldn't understand it or write it, it was going to be difficult for me to get a job. So what I saw immediately was that in Taiwan, there's a big love for coffee. Everybody loves to drink coffee. You find coffee shops everywhere. You can find coffee stands everywhere. You can buy like really good coffee at 7-Eleven or Family Mart. So I just said to myself like, hey, coffee is where I should get in. Because back in Nicaragua, where I'm from, I have friends with coffee farms and they're in the coffee industry. So I thought it was not going to be difficult. And that's how I decided to make up my mind and put all my efforts into getting into the coffee industry so that in the future, when the time was that we needed to come back, I could have the opportunity to set up my own company and start my own coffee trading company. That was the motivation behind it.
And what is the most difficult thing you think when you do this company?
Yes, the most difficult thing for us that we encounter is that unfortunately we work with Honduras coffee exclusively. And Honduras coffee in Taiwan, we found that it has a poor appreciation. Like people thought that Honduras coffee is not good, or Honduras coffee is just like regular quality and you will not find like exceptional coffees in Honduras. And that also added that people thought that because it was just like regular, then it's also cheap, which is not the case, but that is one of the first problems we encounter. And the second is that because we work a lot with European markets and the US coffee markets, we thought that because Asia is so massive, 1/3 of the population lives here, we thought that we're not going to have any problem with trying to work the B2B type of business, like business to business. But we thought that we found a big barrier of entrance barrier, and we needed to start with the B2C, like business to customer type of model of business. So instead of working with the big importers, we had to turn ourselves to work and promote our coffee with the small coffee shops, which is okay, but because of the size of our coffee company in Honduras, which is the 9th biggest exporter, and we export around 900 containers a year, we had the opportunity to work with the biggest side of the market. So we encountered that problem right at the beginning.
So you do is a B2B or B2C?
Yes, what we do and what we are here trying to establish and set up was the B2B model. But we found a lot of hardship into getting to them because of the way the industry work here is very different from what we were used to when it comes to European and US market and buyers.
Okay, I see. And I want to ask Alex, what is the core value of your company?
Yes. Our core values are based on COMSA's core values, which are preservation of the environment and having a healthy approach on products that you consume, and also getting to know that yes, coffee farms, you need to take care of them, but there's something in our core values called the human farm. You need also to take care of people to And just as in a farm, you do activities to improve the quality of your plants by using fertilizers and by taking care of them and by pruning to get a good plant and to get a good production. You need to do exactly the same thing with people. If people, you don't give them the right tools and the right education, then they're not going to be the persons you expect them to be as good citizens, as productive citizens, and people to give back to society. You want them to give back, not to be a heavy load and a carry for development. So in our case, all of that, the human farm and the coffee farm binds together and express themselves in having high quality coffees based on good practices, organic practices, and also in promoting practices that made people and their families improve their quality of life and meaning of life, and think that it's not a product that we are selling, it's not just a coffee bean, it's the work of 1 year of one farmer. And we need to approach that with responsibility and not undervalued, because we're stripping away all the effort and the hard work that those people have put into producing a high quality product.
And then could you introduce your coffee to us?
Our coffee comes from Honduras, from the area of Montecillos, specifically from the city of Marcala. Comsa means organic coffee from Marcala, and that's the region where most of our farms are located.
So Comsa, this Spanish Comsa, this word.
Comsa. It's just the name, the acronym, the letters put together. It's a C as coffee, café. O, it's organic. M is Marcala, and SA stands from Limited Liability Company in Spanish. So COMSA, Comsa, is the acronym put together. But it means Organic Coffee of Marcala, Limited Liability Company.
I see.
Our coffee, it's mainly produced under organic practices where we take care of the environment and we take care of also the human part of it by not bringing harsh chemicals to our bodies. And we produce, we're the number 9 coffee exporters of Honduras. We export around 850 to 900 containers per year. Mainly, we have all the qualities of coffee the market could wish for, since highly graded micro lots and geishas coffees, to SHG, which is our strictly high grown coffee, and also the undergrades qualities, which is also part of the processing of coffee. So we are in a position to be able to fill any need of the company, that no matter what size you are, no matter if you're a big company like UCC Coffee or King Car, or if you're just a small coffee shop owner that is just looking for highly distinctive coffee with really special notes that might captivate those like high quality customers that are looking for something really exclusive and special.
Yes. I think it's the taste is different from other, like you said, UCC coffee or some. Is the taste different, or?
The coffee tastes different because basically what gives coffee its distinctive flavor comes from a add up of elements. Number 1 is the variety of coffee you're producing. Number 2 is the terroir. Terroir is basically all the area where this coffee is growing, because all of the area add up like a special environment. That means like the altitude, the type of soil, the type of forests that are around your area, the water sources that are going through your farm. So if you take care of all of this, like your environment, taking care, selecting really good varieties that adapt to your terroir, and on top of that, you use like organic practices, like organic fertilizers, then all of this add up in order to produce a high quality awarded coffee that it's up to the level of competing in the highest world standard competition, like Cup of Excellence in Honduras. Our farmers have competed there like many years, including this year. So in order to be there, you are in a really selective club of the highest producing coffees in a country, which just distinct you from the rest of the competence, like of the rest of your other competitors. So we are focused on quality, not only on the farm but outside of the farm, and in every process that we undertake in order to export coffee to foreign countries.
Yes. And at last, I want to ask Alex, if there is a teenager want to start a business, the same business, coffee industry, so could you give them some suggestion?
Yes, I am deeply impressed of how much young generation is into coffee in this country. Like they are like everywhere, from baristas working in coffee shops,
yes, and more people
doing roasting,
yes,
and more people, but especially like more and more younger people.
Yes,
like they went to university, but what they want to do is coffee.
Yeah. This is the fashion.
Yes, it's kind of a fashion, but it drives this local industry, and it gives them a more powerful strength, because this is not in the hands like of old people like me. No, it's the new generations that want to keep this building up,
yes,
and making this a coffee country like it already is a tea country.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I believe one day they're gonna be equal.
Yeah.
So my suggestion for everybody that might be listening to us right now is that remember that in order to be successful, always try to solve a problem or a pain. Once you are able to identify that problem, and you identify the way on how to solve it, and by solving it you're adding value to your customer, then you have something on playing, and you should continue doing, because that person who you solve that pain or you solve that problem and you add value is always going to come to you back, and not only is going to come back, is also going to recommend your services, yes, to other people who just like him was looking for somebody to add value to their problems or to take away the pain.
Yes.
It's also important to team up and not do it alone, because everything that you have to do it by yourself is more difficult than if you do it with somebody else. Yes. That other person will also add a different point of view, more resources, and maybe more finance, and that way you will not feel in those moments that you're gonna feel like struggling, that you're not alone, because then your partner is going to be like, don't worry, man, we're going to get out of here together, and we're going to make it. Yes. So that is really important. Motivation is what drives you when you're an entrepreneur. Do not ever lose your motivation. And if sometimes you are like feel that you fail, go back to the original motivation that you have and put it on again. Put your motivation shirt and say like, this is why I started, and this is why I'm not quitting. And hard times are gonna come. It's important for you not to despair, not to quit, not to say I'm gonna try it again. There is no second chance. You do it and you finish what you start. And if you need to take a time and dust off, and do it, but please don't quit. Continue doing it. Just like people say here, like chaya.
Yeah.
So yes, let that motivation be the engine, and don't ever let that engine turn off.
don't forget the motivation when you first start the business.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Yes, thank you. In the word impossible, it's like I am possible. So you are possible. Everything is possible. Just like don't lose focus, don't lose motivation, and don't quit. If you need to take a few moments out, a few minutes, just take a break. But then get up and just keep rolling.
Yes. 我们今天真的非常非常开心，很荣幸能够邀请到爱乐国际贸易有限公司的创办人邱爱乐 Alex 来我们专访。谢谢 Alex， 谢谢。
客气。